backs right now, DeAndre Swift and all of these guys kind of following your footsteps. What have you seen from them?
You know, it's so funny. DeAndre, I tell you, the running back is absolutely incredible, and that's what I was talking about earlier. I say, what I'm happy to see about the running backs at Georgia is they're not just football players or running backs. They can catch the ball. People didn't realize, when Chubbs left, Chubbs could catch. He wasn't just a guy that can run the ball. He can catch the ball. Michelle, people see it now today. And now DeAndre Swift, let me tell you, that guy's a football player. I wish I had that stop and go like he had when he plays. And he's not just a quick guy, a fast guy, but he's strong. His father is a bodybuilder. I'm like, the guy is strong. And he's a leader. And I think that's what matters a great deal. I think, and that's like the guys that were just here just now, Dale Williams, who was I think he was a junior on that team. I said, we had great leaders on that team. And I think that's what Georgia got right now. And I just put the pressure on them I think Paul Firebone's show. So Coach Smart probably going to get mad at me because I said, Georgia's going to win the East. I said, I think they are right there to win it all. And, they've come close. And now it's time to step over that. You got to get over that. It's time to go out and play now. And I think they can do it.
What did you learn along the way to your national championship that you could provide as wisdom for what Georgia's going to face in 2019?
No, what I learned is you got to win and lose together. But right now you got to just think that you can do it, and you got to believe it. And you got to put people away. I was telling someone earlier, and they said, Herschel, that's very hard for you to say like this. I know, because, guys, you got to remember, I've been in MMA. I've been in MMA now for, 8 years. I've been fighting guys that some of the best in the world. When I put a guy down, I'm going to make sure he stays down. And not to be mean, I think that's what Georgia got to do. When they got Alabama down, they got to make sure they stay down. What I mean, you got to now step up and play a little harder. And, it's sorry. They're down 14. I'm sorry. I'm going to get 21 on them because you've seen that team can come back. And that's what you got to do in today's world. And I think with all teams, one of the things I told someone earlier, I said, I was sad to see Fields leave Georgia, but I knew you had to. I was very sad to see him leave because I think that kid got so much talent. But I said, there's no way he could be starting over Fromm. Fromm has proven that he deserved that position, so I think that was hard. And like I said earlier today, I said, I don't believe in transferring, but that's the right thing for him. And for Ohio State fans, that's going to give you a notch. You're now going to step up, and that kid can really, really play. And I think I look at some good things from him.
What's the key to overcoming that mountain like for Georgia is beating Alabama?
I think the key to overcoming it is to look at you losing those last 2 years. When I lost, guys, I can't sleep. I can't eat. I don't feel good about myself. I don't sleep that much anyway. I don't eat. I eat 1 meal a day. And now not eating at all, not sleeping because I want you again. And I think that's what they got to feel. They got to feel that they want Alabama. I told someone, my nephew played at Clemson. My nephew played at Clemson, and I remember when Clemson was playing Alabama this past year, someone said, oh, Alabama got to beat them. I said, guys, let me tell you what. I can tell you right now, Clemson players hadn't eaten. They don't sleep. This whole year, all they've been doing is thinking about Alabama. And I think that's what Georgia got to do. I know the coaches said let's not do that, but they got to say, I'm running through everyone. And and not to brag, you're not bragging. You just got to get out and play football right now. They got all the great coaches, they got all the great players, they got everything right now. So you're on the top of the hill, and so go out and do it.
You think this offensive line, Herschel, do you have
Oh,
take a look at these guys?
that guy's incredible. The offensive line is great. That is huge. I was in the locker room last year, and I was standing there with two of the offensive linemen, and I was like, wow, these are big old guys. And I'm like, where did they come from? Where did these guys come from? I couldn't believe how big they are today. But I tell you what, and people always ask how I feel like running behind this offensive line today. Now, guys, have you looked at the offensive line I had, even though they were not that big, but I don't think you ever see me get hit in the backfield. You don't see me get hit in the backfield, and I think when you got a running back that can just get to the second level, that's what you want in football. And so it wasn't that I was a great football player. It was great. I had a great offensive line, and this is no joke. I think I have taken a lot of all the awards from my offensive line, but I had some guys that would knock your head off. They were not that big, but they would get after you, and that's what you need. And this offensive line, I think Georgia got now. They're young. They're hungry, they're mad, they're angry, and that's the way you want them to do. But you want them to be consistent, and you want not to make mistakes. You got to continue to keep your head about you when you're doing these things. 2 big games from them, I hear it all the time. And this is the honest truth. I want Georgia to win the East. I want Alabama to win the West. I want them to meet up again, because I said you kids cannot, and you know, and I'm not jumping that far ahead. You shouldn't do that. But if I was the Georgia player, that's why I'm running the gauntlet, because I want Alabama, because I think Alabama will end up winning it. You got to go through Alabama to do it.
What did you think about Najee? Some of the skills that he possesses.
You know, one of the things I think he possesses, he's extremely strong, and I think that matters a great deal. No, he's resilient. He's very resilient, and I think that's what. I think he's resilient, but I think what he has, Alabama have surrounded a lot of great athletes. And I was telling someone, I happened to get a chance to watch Alabama practice, and they had players on the bench that could be starting for a lot of other teams, and I think that's what makes it very difficult. When you have kids that instead of you having to recruit, they want to go there. It makes recruiting a little bit easier. But then there's no, I don't think you use that as excuses. I tell people, athletes are athletes. Doesn't matter how big, how small you are. When you step on that field, you got to become an athlete. So, and that's the way I've always believed. It doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter where you're from, what color you are. You got to get out there and just play.
You said a while ago that up on the stage that you wish George would name something after you before you died.
Yeah.
I know you're half kidding on that and all that, but seriously,
Yeah.
what would you like to see done?
I have no idea. You know, I never think about that. You know, this was so strange is I didn't watch football growing up, and I never really, like today I don't keep up with it. I had to keep up with college football. My nephew playing at Clemson, and then I keep up with Georgia. But I don't watch a lot of football. I read about it a lot so I can keep in touch with it, because I get to vote for the Heisman. But, you know, I think this is a great game. This game has done a lot for me in my life. You know, and today what I'm doing with the military is because of football. Today what I'm doing in business because of football. And that's why I made a statement that, you know, sometimes people try to erase history, which I think is a shame, because the SEC, to try to erase history of the SEC, a lot of these guys here that I gotten to know, like Archie and Coach Spurrier, you know, those are guys that laid the path for me, and I want to do the same for other guys. You know, I've gotten the opportunity to be around people like Bo Jackson. You know, I got the opportunity to be around people like some incredible Peyton and Eli, with Archie being the dad, like some great players that a kid from Wrightsville, Georgia would never get an opportunity to do that. But I want kids to know this, that, you know, I'm no different than they are. Just because now you may see me on TV or doing anything else, I'm that same country boy from Wrightsville, Georgia. But you have to pay the price and sacrifice if you want it. I think that's what some people don't realize. You want something, but you won't sacrifice to get it. You know, people don't know. You know, I never went out to parties. I don't drink. I never even tasted beer. I didn't date. I didn't go and do all those things because I was there to play football. So if you come to play football, you play football, and that's the way I've always believed. And Coach Spurrier and I were laughing in the back because I said, you know, I'm a little different because I love to win. I don't know who in the world don't like to win, and I'm tired of hearing coaches say we're going to have a great season. If you're going to have a great season, why you play it? You don't have to play. You go ahead and lose all the game. You had a great season, but you say, I want to win. We training to win. Training camp is for us to get prepared to win. Some people ain't going to have the athletes, but you still don't put those athletes down, because when you step on the field, it doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter how big you are. You know, remember, I'm in the cage. You step in that cage, that guy going to hurt you. So you better be ready, or he's going to put you down, and that's the way I look at it.
Probably the greatest win in Georgia history is your victory versus Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. The team's coming to Athens this year. What does it mean to you to see that, either remembering your own history or kind of a unique chapter in this modern time?
Well, you know, the history of me playing Notre Dame is an honor, because, you know, that's all I heard about was Notre Dame, and we got an opportunity to play them. They had all those pro scouts and pro players that was going to be going, and they were a very well coached team. And for them now to come to Athens, and for Athens to get an opportunity to play, and the Dogs get an opportunity to play them in Athens, Georgia, you know, that's almost unheard of. You know, whenever you talk football, you think of Notre Dame, you think of USC, like they were talking about rivalry, you think of things like that. And now Alabama, and now for Notre Dame to come in, That's going to be exciting. I think it's a night game. I think there's going to be a night game, and I tell you, that's going to be rocking in Athens. I'm going to be well. I'm supposed to be there. And God's will, I'm going to be there, and I want to see what the Dogs can do. It's going to be a test. And Notre Dame is not. Notre Dame got a good team. Notre Dame got a very, very good team. But that's what I was talking about right now when I said you got to want Alabama. You got to want Alabama enough that you're going to go out and beat Notre Dame. You got to want Alabama enough that you got to go out and beat whoever's in front of you right now. Otherwise, you're not going to get them. You know, I'm tired of people saying that, you know, we should have did this, we should have done. No, you should do it. Quit talking about what you should have done. You know, should have, would have, could have, then get anything done.